The fare is going up to $3 January 1st.
We should be getting like food and stuff, beverages at this point. $3 to ride the train. They got to get the services better.
I feel like I'm a car. It's expensive.
$3 for one ride. Come on.
Breaking news, New York City has officially raised their subway fares to $3, effective today, directly contradicting Mamdani's pledge to make public transit free. This was on the 4th, so this was just yesterday. Maybe things have changed. I don't know what's going on, but are y'all not embarrassed? New Yorkers really thought they were getting free, but instead they got scammed. You keep getting scammed. The whole world is looking at you like you're stupid. If I was on the left right now, the last thing I'd be saying is, you know what, I'm on the right side of history. I would have to pause and say, these people are making me sound stupid. The left is making me sound stupid. If they could just deliver on a single promise that they made, maybe I could save face. But this is it went from free to now the fare is the regular price that the fare was. Actually, no, it's officially raised to $3. So they raised it. They promised you free, but they raised it to $3. Y'all let these commies play in your face 24/7. I just don't understand why. Where does it, instead of saying, you know what, I have to step back because these people are not really, they're not really consistent in anything. You guys are, and by you guys, I mean the leftist progressive weirdos. Y'all are tripling, quadrupling down on stupidity and fake lies. When will shame come in? Are you not ashamed? You're not ashamed to have people be like, well, if I saw you on the streets and you were a proud leftist and I hit you with this, well, your stupid ass, politicians have lied to you. They promised you free transit and now they're raised it to $3. What do you have to say for yourself? What do y'all say when you see people in real life? Well, orange man bad. That's what you have to say? All right. Well, good luck with that. The rest of us on the MAGA side, we're gonna keep celebrating while the rest of y'all keep losing, because that seems to be your mission in life. Because what are you free? It was supposed to be free, and he's like, I'm gonna raise the prices. Okay, good luck.
I don't know, guys. I feel like the MTA has some nerve to tell us that they're gonna up the price to $3 for the subway fare in January, especially because I feel like they just increased it to $2.90. I don't know, because right now I just can't seem to think of any acceptable justification to increase the fare. You guys are saying that you're charging extra for inflation and operations, right? But wasn't that the same thing that y'all said congestion pricing was for? And that you guys are getting hundreds of millions of dollars for? So what are we paying it for? For you guys to implement more anti-fare evasion turnstiles for people to still walk through them? I'm confused. For you guys to pay more people security to stand there and do nothing? Y'all, they literally do nothing. They literally do nothing. I could hop the turnstile right now and they wouldn't do nothing. You guys claim that you guys are losing $700 million in fare evasion, yet employ people to stand around and keep installing new anti-fare evasion turnstiles that do not work. We've seen the people on TikTok walking right through it, pushing through. Maybe if you guys installed turnstiles that actually work, you wouldn't need to charge us more to fix your mistakes. And if you're raising the price to recover lost funds because people are not paying the fare, don't you think that you're going to lose even more money? Because now it's even more expensive, so people will have even more of an incentive to not pay the fare. Make it make sense.
How many times can someone promise you something and use that promise to get your support, and then he goes ahead and does the exact opposite? And now, how long does it take you to admit that finally you got played? Because right now, that's what a lot of New Yorkers are feeling. They're not angry for fun, not angry for these outraged clicks, but disappointed in a deep personal way.
Together, New York, we're going to freeze Together, New York, we're going to make buses fast and together, New York, we're going to deliver universal. Let the words we've spoken together, the dreams we've dreamt together, become the agenda we deliver together.
Wait a minute. So today, the MTA in New York City hiked the prices? I'm confused how they could hike the prices when the mayor said everything was going to be free. New Yorkers, not only are you supporting a dictator and you've elected a socialist Muslim fella to ruin your city, but now you no longer get your free buses. They actually raised the price. Can someone from New York make this make sense to me? Because I don't understand. Skedaddle.
The mayor of New York can't raise taxes. That's not what he doesn't have that power. That belongs to the state legislature and the governor.
Yes, that's in fact. And he ran this campaign with all these promises about all these things that he was going to do. And most of the things that he promised to do, he actually cannot do legally. And the things that he can do, he's grossly underestimated the costs by tens of billions of dollars.
That was the promise. These people were told that public transport would be free, not discounted, and not something which will happen maybe later, but it will happen once I get that mayor seat. And that has been buried behind this fine print. And free public transit was sold as a moral issue because as an economic justice, a relief to people who are working, who are ready to give everything, and that they were even able to survive from this city. And that promise actually mattered to a lot of people because it cut across those students and also those people who work hourly, and also between parents who are actually jungling between rent, food, childcare, and also transport. And people didn't just vote for that person. They voted for this kind of promise because this whole promise kind of relates to a lot of people. If now they are going to access free transport from one place to another, that will be of much convenience.
All right, you ready for this? Under Mamdani, this New York City has just passed the COPA law, which means if you own a home in New York City and you want to sell that home, you can't sell that home unless unless non-profit organizations put in a bid for that home. It must be listed 30 or 60 days. You got to fact check me on that. I'm not sure. But there is a certain amount of time that home has to be listed. Nonprofits have to have no interest before you can privately sell that home. You know what? I'm just going to let you take that information and pass your opinion on it.
Forward to date, this has actually been opposite because instead of free transit, we have seen that the fares are actually going up $3. And that's not just the money, it is the moment you actually start asking yourself and you stand there at the turnstile and you are holding your card and you're also realizing that this is not what you were told. And now the reality hits you. You come to realize that these were just some sweet mouth, sweet words just to get you trapped to voting and electing this person. And this is what these people have been told, that crime anxiety hasn't magically disappeared. Even we have seen the manifesto where this guy said that these things will disappear. And to even our surprise is that the housing still feels to be out of reach. The infrastructure source feels like it has been neglected from what these people are saying. So people are asking these quiet questions so loud because they are asking when this change is going to get implemented, or rather, did this person just go ahead and play us because the promise was sure, but it has not even come into reality.
Let Mamdani fail, okay? What is so hard about that? These establishment Republicans and Democrats are so certain that Mamdani is going to ruin New York City with his socialist policies. They are so certain of it that they are banding together to make sure that this man does not get elected. And all I have to say is, let him fail. Let him fail. Prove to the American people once and for all that you know what's best for us, okay? That socialist policies will never benefit us, okay? It'll only put us in the shitter, all right? Let him win and let him fail. Honestly, that could probably be one of the best things that would ever happen for their political careers, because they could say, we told you so. We told you socialist policies don't work, but don't worry. I'll be there to clean it up. Don't worry, vote for me. I'll be your savior. See what happens when you don't listen to us? Okay? You're so worried about what's going to happen. Let it happen. We all know that you don't actually give a fuck about the shit that people go through. Okay, unless you're one of them or you're, the 1%, they don't care. They don't care how you struggle. All they do is take your struggle and run a campaign on it. They don't really care if your life gets better, okay? So they certainly don't care if it gets worse, obviously. So if they're so certain that Mamdani is going to ruin New York City, let him. Give him a chance to fail. And then maybe people once and for all, we'll back off of those progressive policies. We'll forget about socialism. If it's so certain to fail, let it fail. But that's the thing, right? Because it's not going to. It's not going to, and they know that. Really, what they're afraid of is it working. They're more afraid of his socialist policies working than they are of anything else. Because if they can work in New York City, and people's lives can actually be improved in a fundamental way, people from other cities and people from other states, they're going to look at that and they're going to say, why can't we have that? That would really help me. That would really improve my life. And then establishment Dems and establishment Republicans, they would have to start running on progressive and socialist policies if they wanted to win. Because enter a third candidate who does have those policies, the establishment is going to have to work a lot harder to get elected. All right. And that's what they're worried about. So all I have to say is if you're so worried about Mamdani failing, let him. Okay. Prove to us all once and for all, socialist policies, they couldn't possibly work.
Now, if we come to narrow this thing down, we'll come to understand that this is the whole game that has been in this politics and also political space for the whole time, because this is where our politics comes and becomes very clever, because when the results don't show up, the conversations will start to shift, and suddenly it is not about the outcomes anymore. It is about the ideology. We believed in this idea. It is about also the symbolism. This person had some sort of symbolism. He symbolized something. He symbolized hope. And now these narratives, we are now questioning them one by one, because whatever they promised stayed with us, and it is in our minds, and we are waiting to see how you're going to execute. And now when we see exact opposite of this whole thing, now we just come to understand you use the game which has been all along in the politics and also political field, and now you encourage now people to start debating this kind of language instead of focusing on the results which you said. And now people become so mad, they see they have been played, and when people raise this kind of concerns, they are told that they need to be patient, and the whole system is so complicated and so hard to crack. And now you come to ask yourself, when you're promising these things, did you not even consider or mind that this whole system is complicated, or it is rigged, it is whatever how it is? And now people are also told that you don't understand the system. The system has a way of how it works, how it does, but voters are not stupid. Voters are not people who just come to be told around and treat them and also play all these tricks to them. They understand one thing, and that thing is very clear. You said free, but now this thing has got to be more expensive. Now that's not complexity. Now that's the contradiction in your script, in your whole political agenda that you promise these people. And now this progressive talk, when it hits the reality of the real life, people start noticing something else. They see that advisors are speaking about private ownership as a sort of oppression, and that whole thing comes before during the campaign system. And while their families profit from this kind of real estate, that's now we come to realize that these people knew what they were doing all along. But these big ideas about socialism, they are also paired with comfortable personal agreements. You'll find that these people have cracked deals behind the scene. They have had people sponsor their campaigns, and now they have to return the favor. And now to return this favor, the common citizen now comes to suffer, comes to pay it harder. And now we're seeing that trust now starts collapsing. People stop seeing you as that person who promised them hope, and now they see you as a betrayer. You've betrayed your own people, because people can forgive failure, but they now struggle to forgive that kind of hypocrisy. If you tried to make this whole thing free and people experience it for some time before it fails, people can forgive that. But this instant betrayal, people will not forget the hypocrisy. They will always remind you what you did to them. And now the silence is where nobody wants to talk about this, because all the New Yorkers are feeling this, but they don't want to say it out loud. And we can say that we have seen people are just so angry, they are so devastated, and they just feel like this is just a waste of their energy. And this is because the moment you question this kind of leadership, nowadays people are going ahead and they just label you. They say that you're disloyal to your mayor, you're disloyal to the political parties, whatever place, and you are so ungrateful. And people are just avoiding these kind of narratives because basically people are tired. People are just exhausted from this whole thing. So people start swallowing it. They start venting privately, and they also kind of disengage quietly. Now they stop supporting you, they boycott your things, and now that's how silence is dangerous, because it looks like approval when it is actually resignation. People are pulling away from your whole agenda. And now the question is, this is not about left versus right. It is about the religion, identity, and also aesthetics. Because the one question that we have is so simple: who actually benefited from that promise? That's the question a lot of people are having in their minds now. Because voters have not benefited, commuters neither have they benefited, and also these working people have not even benefited from this whole promise. And once that trust is broken, no slogans can come ahead and fix it. And now the contract analogy, which is we are seeing there, let's come to imagine that you're signing a contract for a new home, and the builders come and tell you that sign today, and when you give us this deal, we will construct your house, but we'll give you a free services for your roof. We'll give you a free roof on this contract. So you feel that this contract is so good, and you sign it and you move in. But then they hand you over with a bill, and they tell you that this is the most expensive roof you have in this block. Now, would you just be mad about the whole money, or will be mad about the contract? You'd even never trust that builder again, even if they had another offer. And that's what a lot of these New Yorkers are going through right now. And this kind of a broken promise did not just hurt this policy; it has poisoned the whole belief, and people will no longer believe you for your word. And that city, which you now are leading, has now come to find you untrustworthy. You not award their trust, and now the city without trust did not just collapse overnight. Now it starts to erode, and the song slowly um, comes to be quiet, and people go ahead with this kind of pay. Let us know what you think about these promises, whether they are coming to be passed, they are coming to pass, or it is just the old script which these people are just following in this political space. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, you can support us by subscribing.